Hey friends, welcome back to the podcast. I'm so glad you're here today, and if you're tuning in for the first time, welcome. If you've been with me since the beginning, you already know that this is a space where we talk about faith, leadership, and life in a real and grace-filled way. Today I want to have a bit of a heart-to-heart with you about life, growth, and how God has been at work in my own journey. You may have noticed that lately we've been talking more about things like stress, health, and wellness in midlife, and that's not an accident. It's been part of my own story, and it's leading to something new that I want to bring you into. Today, I want to share how this podcast is evolving, not just changing who it is, but expanding into who it's becoming, because I've been growing, learning, and healing. God has been nudging me toward a broader mission, and just like you've walked with me through leadership lessons and faith breakthroughs, I want to invite you to walk with me into this next season. Are you a busy woman in leadership who feels pulled in 1,000 directions? Do you wrestle with perfectionism, people-pleasing, or never feeling like you're enough no matter how successful you are on paper? Are you longing for more time, more peace, and more energy to live and lead the way God intended? Sister, you are right where you need to be. Hi, I'm Tanya, a wife, mom, healthcare leader, Christian life coach, and functional health practitioner. I spent decades hustling for my worth through achievement and approval, only to end up burned out and exhausted. But God showed me a better way, a grace-fueled way, and now I help women just like you break free from people-pleasing and overwhelm, lead well, live well, and be well. Here, we blend spirit-driven success with practical leadership, wellness, and mindset strategies so that you can multiply your time and impact without sacrificing your health or your family. If you're ready to lead well, live healthier, and finally find the peace and purpose God has waiting for you, you are in the right place. So roll up your sleeves, sister friends. It's time to reclaim your time, restore your joy, and lead from grace. When I first launched The Grace-Filled Leader, my heart was so clear. I wanted to share the victory and the freedom that come when we surrender our lives and our leadership, our whole lives and our whole leadership to the Lord. For decades, I struggled with people-pleasing. I chased after approval, thinking if I just worked harder, performed better, or met everyone's expectations, then I would finally feel worthy. Can you relate to that? Well, that constant striving, like no matter what you do, it's never enough. That striving left me anxious and drained and honestly empty. But God met me in that place. He showed me that my worth doesn't come from achievement or others' opinions. That message still matters deeply. And also, as I kept walking with the Lord, He began showing me another layer. Here's what I mean. I realized that even when I was praying for peace and doing the mindset work, my body sometimes wasn't on the same page. I was praying for patience, for grace, but my nervous system was maxed out. I was asking God for energy, but my hormones were completely out of balance. I wanted to show up with clarity and focus, but my brain fog had me feeling like I was walking through mud. And I thought, how can I possibly live out grace-filled leadership if my body is running on fumes? Well, that was a wake-up call for me, because as Christians, we sometimes separate the spiritual and the physical as if our faith is one thing and our health is another. But the truth is they are deeply connected. God designed us as whole beings, spirit, soul, and body. And if one of those areas is depleted, it impacts all others. Let me be real with you. I've had my share of struggles in this area. There were seasons where I was working and still do work long hours, pouring into everyone else and ignoring the warning signs in my own health. Sleepless nights, anxiety for sure, mood swings, irritability, fatigue, brain fog. I brushed them off thinking they were just part of the deal of being a leader, a mom, a busy professional woman who happens to be in perimenopause. But then came the wake-up calls, like my own breast cancer diagnosis years ago, which forced me to stop and reevaluate how stress and striving were impacting my health. And later, the quiet but persistent signals of perimenopause, like brain fog, fatigue, and changes in my body that I didn't like. Those struggles reminded me that I can't pour from an empty cup, and it pushed me to take a deeper look at how God designed our bodies to function. And that's what led me to go back to school, in a sense. Over this past year, I've been studying to become a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner. It meant late nights of studying after long work days, diving into the science of hormones, digestion, stress, cellular health, supplements, and it also meant practicing what I was learning on myself, changing lifestyle habits, running my own functional labs, and paying attention to how my body responded. Now I have something very exciting to share, and that is that I just passed my final oral exam for my certification program. Now, that doesn't mean I suddenly have it all figured out, but it does mean I now have very powerful tools to get to the root of what's holding women back in their health. Instead of chasing symptoms like fatigue, anxiety, brain fog, belly fat, I can help uncover why they are happening in the first place and have targeted approach to natural healing from the inside out. And I can bring that knowledge together with faith and leadership experience to support women like you in a more complete, whole person way. For me, abundant living is not about a perfect life. It's about freedom. Freedom from anxiety, overwhelm, and people-pleasing. Freedom from brain fog that steals your clarity. Freedom from burnout and exhaustion. And it's about restoration, restoring energy so you can be present and playful with your grandkids, restoring hormonal balance so you can think clearly and feel like yourself again, restoring emotional peace so you can enjoy your relationships instead of running on stress. When I think of the words of what will be the rebranding, aligned vitality, this is what they mean. Aligning our lives, our faith, our mindset, our leadership, and our health with God's design so that we can live with vitality, energy, and joy. So why am I sharing all of this with you now? Well, because in the coming weeks and months, you're going to start to notice some shifts. The podcast name and the branding is going to change. The topics we cover will expand. And I want you to feel ready for it, not surprised. The grace-filled leader isn't completely going away, it is evolving. The message of surrender, grace, and faith is still the foundation, but now God is opening the door to whole person wellness. Think of it like this. The grace-filled leader was the beginning of the journey. Aligned vitality is the next chapter, a reflection of what God has been teaching me, and an invitation for you to join me in aligning every part of your life with His design for abundant living. Friend, I want to thank you so much for being here today and all of the past episodes. Thank you for walking this journey with me. I know that change can feel uncertain, but I want you to know my heart. This rebranding that's coming is not about leaving something behind. It's about stepping more fully into the calling that God has placed on my life. My prayer is that as you listen each week, you'll be encouraged not only in your leadership, but also in your health and your walk with the Lord, because He cares about every part of you, spirit, soul, and body. So stay tuned. A new chapter is coming, and I believe it's going to help you step into freedom, energy, and joy in ways that you may not have thought possible. Until next time, keep leading with grace, Keep living with purpose and keep pressing into the abundant life God has designed for you. I pray this episode blessed you, spoke to you, or encouraged you in some way. If so, please share it with a friend and head on over to Apple Podcasts to leave me a review. That's the only way for me to know if you're enjoying the show. Nothing blesses me more than to hear from you. Also, come on over to our free Facebook community. This is a great place for us to support one another on our faith and leadership journeys. You can find the link to the group in the show notes or go to gracefilledleader.com/community. If you have questions or content ideas for the show, please send me a message on SpeakPipe or via email. Go to gracefilledleader.com/contact and leave a written or voice recorded message. I would love to know how I can best serve you on the podcast. Now to Him who can do immeasurably more than we can ask or imagine, according to His power that is at work within us. Ephesians 3, verse 20. Until next time, my friends, God bless.